Brother, so you're back. So we're going to continue our discussion on when the Sabbath day starts. Picking up where I left off, I was telling you, I'm going to show you 3 different scriptures, and I want you to reconcile these with your idea that somehow an evening begins a new day. I'm in Leviticus chapter 7, and I'm going to start with the 11th verse, and I'm going to skip down. This is Leviticus 7 and 11. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahuwah. Down to the 15th verse. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. Are you getting that? Are you there yet?
Wait, what verse you in?
Leviticus 7, I just read the 15th verse. I can read it again if you like.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Verse 16. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offered his sacrifice, and on the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. Now, as we see clearly here in the 15th verse, he refers to the same day being within the same period of time before the morning, because the penalty is if it lasts until the morning. Now, if by your estimation that the day starts in the evening, why didn't it say you can't leave it until the evening? It said the morning. So how do you explain that?
I mean, what is there to explain? If he offered it the day prior, during the daylight hours or that night hours, which again, we know we got evening and morning sacrifices now as far as people bringing up, what is it, these peace offerings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so say he brought it that morning or during that day, okay, then he had to eat it that day.
Right.
Yeah, so what's the point?
He's
just saying it's not keeping any over until that following day in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So it's supposed to be eaten the same day, though. The same day.
Yeah, so what's the point?
Okay, the point is,
saying it's self-explanatory.
Okay, so the point is that if, according to you, that evening ushered in a new day, then why didn't it say you cannot eat it until if it was supposed to be consumed within that same day, why did it not say, well, you are not supposed to keep it until that evening, as opposed to that morning, if in fact what you're saying is true, that the evening constitutes a whole new day?
I don't know. You have to ask Yah that.
I'm asking you because he's very clear on what he's saying a new day is.
But I don't know what your point is. I mean, it's self-explanatory.
My point is the same point as Ben.
If you offer peace offerings, that say he takes it in the morning of the day he offers it, because we know they offer offerings evening, morning,
evening, and that's considered within the same day.
Say he took it that morning, even if he took it that night. If he took it that evening, okay, which again could mean either dusk, sunset, which would put it in that particular day. When it got dark, it would be the next day, okay, or it could mean night. And if he offered it that night, he ate it then. He ate it. He didn't, just like the Passover. They ate it. They cooked that Passover lamb, roasted with fire. As soon as it got dark, which is the beginning of the 15th day, all right, every day begins with dark, and they ate it right then. And whatever was left, they had to burn it with fire because it wasn't to be any left over till that morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your point?
So you're saying that if it was, just say if he had an offering that evening, that's still part of the...
Evening when? Is it evening at sunset, which is one day, or is it evening night, which is the beginning of the next day?
This is what we can take from this. Whatever the situation is, that morning constituted a different day. Can you agree with that?
No, it doesn't constitute a different day.
Why not? When he said that he's within the parameters as long as it doesn't last until that morning.
He just says that morning.
Okay.
Again, with the Passover, like I just said, when they fixed the Passover lamb was ready. They started preparing it on the 14th day. But they didn't start eating it till the 15th day, that night. And when they started eating it, Yah told them, he said, you eat what your feel is because you don't leave any over until the morning. It doesn't say tomorrow. It just says the morning. Okay?
That takes us
in
back.
the morning, you still in that same 24-hour period. You just don't leave any till that morning. You eat what you eat now,
But here,
and then you get rid of the rest.
Hold on. Here it's saying clearly that it has to be consumed within the same day.
Yeah.
Right. Same day.
Okay. So when they offered it, they ate it.
Okay, great. So if they offered it that evening, according to you, it had to be consumed before the morning, right? I'm asking you a question.
I just answered, but I'll answer it again. When it says the evening, it has one or two meanings. It can mean sunset, which is still the one day. It can mean night, which is another day.
We're talking about the same.
If sunset is preceding the night.
He's very clear that whenever it was offered, it was within that same day.
I understand that.
Okay, so whatever time it was during that day,
I'll put it to you like this.
It did not. You would not violate it until that morning.
I'll put it to you like this. That's just like if he was to offer it, say, at 3 o'clock today.
Okay.
25th.
Yeah.
As soon as he offers it, they're going to cook it.
Okay.
Say it takes an hour to cook. He eating at 4 o'clock. Still the same day.
Right.
And then it's saying you finish it, but you don't leave any of it till the next morning. It's still going to be the next day. It's just saying you don't leave any till the morning.
But it's also saying you're supposed to consume it that same day.
What did I just say?
So,
I just said if he offers it and they cook it, all right, at 3 o'clock, okay, he can start eating at 4.
Okay.
And at 4 o'clock, he's eating.
Okay.
By, say, 4:45, he through. You still in that same day.
Okay. So what about...
It gets dark here. Let's say, totally dark around 5:15. Matter of fact, about 5:25. And so when it gets totally dark, he going to be through.
So would he be in violation if he started eating it at 4 or 5?
Again, if he started eating it, all right, at that time in that day, he's still incorrect. It's not dark. It's not the next day yet. He's supposed to eat it in the day he offers it.
Okay.
All right.
But he just says not to carry it until the next morning.
That's right.
So how is it that if as long as he's consuming it within that same day, it doesn't matter the time?
It says not to leave any over till that morning. He's supposed to start eating it in the day he offers it.
Okay.
Right.
So if you're saying that the new day starts in the evening, then that's a whole new day.
That's what the book says. Yeah.
That ain't what the book says.
That is what the book says. You just can't see it. Like I said, you run over the word even. That's what you run over.
We're not even dealing with that here.
But what
we're dealing with what it says.
What we're dealing with, I just explained that. What we're dealing with is what constitutes the beginning of a 24-hour period. And then went to Genesis chapter 1. Evening, morning, first day. Evening, morning, second day. It does that all the way through the 6th day. It's telling you dark
it's
first. It's
not giving you a chronological order.
It's telling you dark first, night first, followed by light.
When he said let there be light.
It's self-explanatory in Genesis 1.
When did the first day start? Did it start in darkness?
The first day started with darkness.
Where does that at in the scripture?
And it's followed by light.
No. So the darkness that was, when it says in the beginning there was darkness, are you counting that as a day?
I'm not counting that as a 24-hour period. That's what you're asking me, right?
Yeah, because you saying
I'm not counting that as a 24-hour period.
Let me show you what you overlooked.
That's not what that's saying. He said he created the light. We just read earlier. When you go back and check your copious notes, you're going to hear it.
Right.
We read it earlier. He separated the darkness when he created the light. He separated them. And the evening, night, darkness, and the morning, light, daytime, was the first day. 24-hour period.
You're making
I don't see what's so hard to understand about that.
Let me show you what's so hard to understand about that. Because the first day was when he said, let there be light. That's your first day.
Now, see, this is what I told you.
That's what he's counting.
That's what I told you when you was here before. That's why I tried to avoid using the term day in recognition of a 24-hour period.
How can you avoid it?
Because you're colliding the two.
You don't want to colliding the two because you're putting a day and the evening in the same time.
No, what I'm not doing that. Yeah, they are. It takes that to make a 24-hour period.
The morning is the beginning of a day.
It takes 24 hours to make a one whole 24-hour day.
That's why you're never going to see the scriptures say It rained 40 days and 40 evenings because an evening is a part of the day. It's the end part of the day. You are trying to make the evening and the night synonymous. That's incorrect.
David, again, you got to go by what you see.
The morning, that's why it says morning, evening, day one.
What you see.
It's because the day started when he said, let there be light, YHWHudah. You don't start the day in the evening. Evening was not mentioned until after day.
Again, I'll bring it to you.
What was mentioned first?
I'll bring it to you one more time.
No. Let me
I'll bring it to you one
What was mentioned first,
time.
evening or day?
When the evening is mentioned first.
No,
in
it's not.
Genesis chapter 1.
Absolutely not. Let's go there right now. I bet you it's not. He said, once he said, let there be light.
Go there.
The light is first.
It says, in the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters.
He
And
said,
Yah
let there be light.
there be light,
And there
was light.
You don't
You
get no
already
evening.
got darkness.
Right.
I already read
and
that.
I asked you, were you counting darkness as part of the
already
day?
read. I said, yeah.
But it's not saying that.
It's not saying that to you.
I just asked you a question.
It's not saying that to you.
Clearly,
what I said to in answer to your question, the way you brought it to me, does darkness constitute a 24-hour period? And I said no. That's what you asked me. All right? Mm-hmm. Now, he's saying here there was darkness first. He didn't create that.
Right. So
there's no way light can precede that.
He didn't start measuring time until he made light.
Darkness was already here.
Right.
And I'm going to read it. Okay? And it says and said, let there be light, and there was light. And y'all saw the light. No, not first.
Before evening?
No, not first. I just read it in verse 2. Okay? Mm-hmm. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Was the evening first?
That's nighttime. Darkness is nighttime, isn't it?
Is it evening?
When it gets nighttime, isn't it dark?
Is it evening, though?
Yeah, it can be that.
No,
it can be one or the other.
But is it?
I said it can be one or the other. I already went over that. When you check your notes, you're going to see that.
You don't see the word
2 hours ago.
As I proved, you don't see the word evening until the 5th verse.
But the point being is, when you look up the definition of evening, it can mean darkness or it can mean sunset, dusk.
It was primarily dusk, and then it said night. Primarily, it's dusk. If it was going to be, if it meant night,
what does it say? Where are you reading that from?
When I looked it up,
look it up.
I already did.
Do it again.
I'm right here. It's right here. Listen. It says, Arab, going down, dusk, plus day, even, and then it says night. It has nothing to do with night as is mentioned here. Those are two different words.
What do you mean as it's mentioned there?
Arab is mentioned here, and that's not the same as the evening that's here.
Isn't that what you're looking up? That word that's there?
Yeah.
Huh? And you read the definitions, right?
Dusk.
Dusk. And then it says what? It says day.
Plus day.
Evening. Tide. Night.
Yeah. Okay. So your point is, so you're saying,
like I said earlier, you have to use the one that's applicable to where you're using.
Exactly. And that would be the end of the day, dusk, as opposed to night.
Does it say that there?
It's saying evening, morning. That's part of the day. That's part of the light part of the day.
It's part of the 24-hour period.
It's part of the light part of the day.
It's part of the 24-hour period.
As to be said.
And we know evening, can mean sunset or night. Just like what it's got there.
Okay.
Dusk or night. Darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know in a 24-hour period, right, it gets dark, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you have light.
When does it get dark?
I said if you have light. It don't get dark at dusk. Doesn't get dark at dusk. It's not dark at dusk. At dusk, it's still light out.
But it's getting dark, though. Right?
That's getting, but it's not.
I didn't say it was. I said it's getting dark.
Okay, then. But it's still, in a 24-hour period, you do have night, don't you? You got dark, don't you?
Of course.
And you got light, don't you?
Yeah.
And when it's dusk, it's still light, isn't it?
Yeah. Getting dark.
Case closed.
No, it's not case closed because you're making the evening a part of night. Evening is part of the day.
Again. All of it's part of the 24-hour period.
I'm talking about day as opposed to night. Day begins with the morning and it ends with evening. That's your whole day. That's why it says evening, morning, day one, because it's talking about the light part of the day. Darkness is not even counted.
That's not what that's saying.
That's what he's saying.
That's how you interpret it.
He doesn't even measure time until he makes the light.
That's how you interpret it. Because he's already made plain in verse 2 that there is darkness.
Then why isn't he counting darkness in the beginning?
Why don't you look up darkness?
He's counting.
Why don't you
I already looked up darkness?
Look again.
Night.
Look it again.
Darkness, night, Le'ela. That's what it means.
Night.
Yeah.
So it was already dark, night.
Right. So
and then he created the light.
Exactly. And that's when he started counting the days,
And
right?
he separated the light from the dark.
Okay, so why
night.
are you counting darkness when he didn't count?
Again, darkness was separated with the light. He separated the two. And he says the evening, night.
No, the evening was part of the end of the day.
Okay, so what you're saying is, from what you're drawing is that dusk, evening, which is no darkness, and then light, and that's it.
No, let me tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying that the day, when he said, let there be light, that was your first day. The beginning of the day is the morning. The end of the day is evening. That's why you have the word, a different word.
So I'm saying to you, like I just said, which you evaded, I'm saying to you, you're taking, yes you are, you're taking the total dark night out of a 24-hour period. You saying it don't exist.
No,
then.
I'm not.
Well, then what are you saying? It's got to be part of 24 hours, David.
Hold on. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that's why when you look at the flood, it rained 40 days and 40 nights.
So what?
Okay, the point is...
So what?
Because they're still part of the same unit of time, 24 hours, but there's a distinction between the day and the night.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the same thing in Genesis chapter 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're counting the evening as part of the night when it's the end of the day. That's what I'm telling you.
I just said to you when you check your copious notes.
I'm going to check my copious notes.
Over 2 hours ago, that evening has two meanings. You just read it.
I know, but the context...
You just read it.
Okay, but the context here is the end of the day.
So you say...
Well, you saying night. And
so you say... That's your interjection.
Well, that's a different word.
That is your interjection.
Why is it Le'ela, not you?
That is your interjection.
You have two words.
That is your interjection.
Arab and you have Le'ela.
But what I'm saying is the definition. I'm not thinking about that Edomite crap. I'm dealing with the definition. Okay. And I said again, and I'll say it again. It's got two different definitions, and you have to discern which one is applicable to where you're reading. But that's why in Exodus chapter 12, it says on the 14th day at even, just like it says over in that spot where you went, in Numbers 9. On the 14th day at even. Mm-hmm. On the 14th day at even, at 14th day when it gets dark, that's the beginning of the next day. That's the beginning of Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
So when does night begin?
It begins at even. It can begin at evening. It all depends on how it's being used. Night begins at dark. Just like what you see there in verse 2 in Genesis chapter 1. There was darkness. He called the darkness night.
Right.
He called the light day. He separated the two.
Right.
And the evening or darkness night and the morning light day was the first day.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're taking the evening and you're taking that and making it synonymous when it's not doing that. It's giving you two different words. It's giving you Arab and it's giving you Le'ela.
Right.
It's giving you two different, and you're taking the secondary.
Keep dealing with that.
Hold on, you're taking the secondary definition as a primary.
Keep dealing with that.
You're taking the...
I already told you what I'm doing. I told you from the very outset. I told you last time when you were here that the word evening's got two meanings. You just looked it up in your Strong's and it shows you. It's got two meanings. It can mean either dusk or it can mean night.
So at what point does it mean dusk?
Just like I said,
because all your definitions, you're trying to make it say night.
No, it's not. I didn't tell you that.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like to you because you ain't looking clear.
Okay, I'm gonna
all right, now I'm going to explain to you again.
Okay.
For the umpteenth time.
Well, as it relates to here, though.
I said I'm going to explain to you again for the umpteenth time. When you in Exodus chapter 12, on the 14th day at evening, they started to prepare the Passover lamb. You got a glimpse of it last time because I can see it in your face. You're just in denial, okay?
No, I was
you
confused.
Don't want to say that you've been doing wrong. You still confused, brother.
No, because you're not consistent.
Because I am consistent. I've been consistent. I'm glad you brought this. You can go back over it.
I know.
All right, on the 12th, on the 14th day at evening, they started to prepare. As it says in chapter 12 Exodus, the Passover lamb. Because you cannot eat it with the blood. We cannot eat flesh with blood. It has to be done.
Okay.
You cannot start cooking the Passover lamb when Passover actually takes place on the 15th day at night. At the beginning of the 15th day is when Yah dropped the firstborn man and beast of Egypt. A night much to be observed when he brought Israel out of Egypt. All right, you couldn't start cooking that Passover lamb when actually Passover started, because it's going to take it about a good hour, maybe a little bit better, to cook, where the blood is gone out of it. They didn't have that kind of time. When you go into Exodus chapter 12, when you get in the middle, down further in the chapter, I'll read it to you.
What verse are you starting at?
Wait a minute. Verse 33, and I'm going to pick it up at verse 31. And he called, this is Pharaoh, for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up, get you forth from among thy people, from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go and serve Yah, as you have said. Also, take your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. That's why you eat the Passover with your coat on, your staff in your hand, your shoes on your feet. You eat it in haste, because they didn't have no time. That's why you start cooking it when the sun goes down at dusk on the 14th day. It's still the 14th day. That's why when you're reading here in chapter 12, it says at even, because when it gets dark, which even is expressed, when it gets dark, that's the beginning of the 15th day. That's when Passover jumped off. That's when y'all dropped the firstborn man and beast of Egypt. Right after he did that, the Passover lamb still is, if it ain't, it didn't even have to be quite done. It's kind of done. They taking the fork, sticking it. Man, I still see blood. They got to keep cooking. All right? Now, Pharaoh rises up. Him and the Egyptians say, man, we all be dead men. He sends his messengers to go get Moses and Aaron. They coming to get him. By the time the servants of Pharaoh get to Moses and Aaron, now, more than likely, the Passover lamb is ready. And so they eating with the bitter herbs and unleavened bread. They eating. Now, Pharaoh's like, get up, man. Take everything. Get out. Now the Egyptians is coming back. The armies got them. Coming back. Get your stuff. And now they like, uh-oh. And then whatever was left, they burn it. They took the kneading, the bread in the kneading troughs. It wasn't risen. It hadn't rose, because again, they worked at night. They made bread that night for the next day, which is work. Okay? And then they took the bread up in the kneading cloths. Again, working day is 24 hours. It's whatever you do in that 24-hour period. All right? The whole nation ain't at rest in a 24-hour period. There's certain things you can't do at nighttime. And then there's certain things they did at nighttime. It all depends on what your job was. You can make bread. You can cook victuals. You can mash wine, grapes. You can preserve. All that's work. You can do that at night. That ain't something that's done out in the field. A 24-hour day it's a working day. 24 hours. And whatever you doing, whatever your livelihood is in that 24 hours, that's when you do it. But y'all saying on that 7th day, that whole 24 hours, that's a day of rest.
Let me ask you a question. And we're gonna deal with this, because I got some more scriptures I'm gonna show you. But are you keeping the Passover too?
Yeah.
You keeping the Passover here?
As much as you can do it. You can't make no offerings here.
So why are you keeping it?
We offer up the calves of our lips.
But why are you
Hosea chapter 14.
But why are you keeping the Passover outside the land?
It's a day to be much. It's because again we eat lamb.
But that doesn't mean you have to keep the Passover.
It says in Leviticus 23, in all thy dwellings, in all your generations.
That's talking about the Day of Atonement, not the Passover.
No, that's talking about the Passover.
Show me that, and I'm going to show you something.
And here it says on the 15th day, you wanted to see that, verse 6.
You said
Verse 6, 23rd chapter. I showed you this before. In the 14th day, on the first month, at even is Yah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
That's what I'm telling you. Those are two different holy days.
It's not.
Well, okay, so you're saying you keep the Passover. So show me in here where...
You're still running over the word even that you looked up that means night.
We're going to come back to that, but I want to make another point here. And this is my point with you. You're taking things out of context. You're not supposed to keep the Passover.
So you say.
Okay, show me. You told me you were going to show me here where the Passover was supposed to be kept.
It says, unleavened bread. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. And the first day you shall eat, have a holy convocation, and you shall do no service work then, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yah 7 days. And the 7th day, a holy convocation, you shall do no service work therein. Okay, it doesn't say that.
You said it did.
Wait a minute. It says it. It says it.
No, it doesn't. He's talking about other types.
It says it in another place.
No, it doesn't. I'm going to show you what it says.
Okay.
Let me show you what. Now I'm going to help you.
What does it say in 12?
Hold on, brother. Let me. You took me here. It didn't say what you said. It said. I'm going to show you.
Let me go to 12.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, I could be wrong in 23. Maybe it's in 12. I'm in Leviticus. I got the Exodus, the right book.
And when you get through finding it, I'm going to show you something that you need to take heed to. Because once again, brother, I'm trying to help you.
Well, I wish you'd start.
I'm trying if you listen.
I'm listening. But
okay. Well, you show me where we're supposed to keep the Passover outside the land.
Well, hey, what does it say here? Let's see. Okay. And this day, I got it marked. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, a memory, and you shall keep it a feast to Yah throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
It says throughout the generations, right? Now, does it say in all your dwellings like you said it said?
No, that's the 7th day. That's the 7th day.
What's the 7th day?
The 7th day Sabbath.
Right. Well, let me show you something. This is in Deuteronomy chapter 16. It says, observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, for in the month of Abib Yahuwah thy Elohim brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto Yahuwah thy Elohim of the flock and the herd in the place which Yahuwah shall choose to place his name there. Where has he chosen to place his name at?
That's Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Right. So I told you can't do the sacrifice.
You can't do the Passover at all.
It doesn't say that there.
Well, how are you doing the Passover when you're not doing the sacrifice?
Well, again, it's a memorial.
You add to the word.
It's a memorial, isn't it? What does memorial mean?
You can remember it, but that doesn't mean you have to do it.
And you acknowledge it in all that generation.
But how are you doing it?
I just told you. We eat lamb. We take all the yeast, the leavening out of the house, soda, yeast, baking powder. Right?
Is that in the place where he chose to do it?
Again, that's where you do the actual sacrifice and offering. Today, we're in captivity wherever we are. Even if we're in the land, we do what? Hosea 14th chapter. We offer up the cares of our lips, which is in harmony with Solomon's supplication. 1 Kings 8, 2 Chronicles 6. You understand? Which Yah accepted.
Right.
And we turn toward Jerusalem from wherever you are, and you pray toward Jerusalem so that Yah will hear your prayers and hopefully accept them.
Okay.
Isn't that what Daniel did in chapter 6, Daniel?
Well, when do you keep the Passover?
Keep it on the 14th day of the first month, which they call April here. We don't have the right time. Okay. So when people say, call here, and they say, well, we do the Passover in March. We recognize it in March. I say, okay. I don't quibble about that. Because we don't have the right time, and we are not going to get it until we get back.
Well, do you know the law that you're supposed to follow when you're keeping the Passover outside the land? What you're supposed to do? Are you familiar with when you're on a long journey, what you're supposed to do?
No, tell me, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I can show you. Because if you're going to be keeping the Passover outside the land, you're not supposed to keep it at the same time. That we're doing it as if you're in the land. Let me show you that. Turn to Numbers chapter 9.
Okay, I'm here.
Now, I'm going to start at the 4th verse. And Moses spake unto the children of Israel that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even in the wilderness of Sinai. According to all that YHWH commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. And there were certain men who were defiled by the dead body of a man, that they could not keep the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and before Aaron on that day. And those men said unto YHWH, who we are defiled by the dead body of a man. Wherefore are we kept back, that we may not offer an offering of YHWH in his appointed season among the children of Israel? And Moses said unto them, stand still, and I will hear what YHWH will command concerning you. And YHWH spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if any man of you or of your posterity shall be unclean by reason of a dead body, or be in a journey afar off. Are we not afar off from the land? Yet he shall keep the Passover unto YHWH the 14th day of the 2nd month at even. They shall keep it and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. If you are defiled with the unclean body, or in a journey afar off like we are outside the land, you're not even supposed to keep it on the 1st month of Abib. You're supposed to keep it the 2nd month. And furthermore, the reason why this was stated that way was because it had to give you time to get back to the land. That's why it was a month later.
That's right, and that's what that's talking about.
Right, but
it's saying that if you're in a journey or if you're defiled by a dead body, then you can't keep it on the 1st month. You got to get yourself clean, or you got to wait till you get back.
Yeah,
and then you keep it on the 2nd
right,
month.
But that's why you have to keep it in the land. Are you going to be going back to Jerusalem within a month? No. So how are you going to be keeping it outside the land?
This is when he's talking about sacrifice, David.
He's talking about the Passover itself.
I told you we can't.
So you want to keep the Passover the way you want to keep it.
So we, in memory, where we are, because we're not in a long journey. We're in captivity.
Exactly, but we're far off.
So
right?
we can't get. And again, we're very far off. We're in the Delta of Babylon. You can't get no further.
Right.
And be on earth. Mm-hmm. But this is for when the people were in the land. All right? Mm-hmm. So he's saying that if you're in a long journey, if you're unclean, then you keep it on the 2nd month here in Jerusalem, in the land.
Yeah.
You bring your offering, you do your sacrifice with the lamb of a year old on the 2nd month. Right. On the 14th day at even, which again is the 15th day. Yes, when you keep it. But we're not in that situation. We're in captivity.
Right.
All right? So we memorialize the Passover. We're not doing the sacrifice in Jerusalem. We can't do it in Jerusalem. We're outside. Right. So we memorialize it. We remember it like it says there in Exodus chapter 12. It's it's 7 days that should be remembered and observed in all thy generations. So just because we're in captivity, that's a whole different situation. We ain't in no long journey. We're in captivity, but we still recognize it. We can't offer sacrifice in Jerusalem. We're in captivity.
Exactly.
The land is being controlled by the sons of Esau right now. So Yah's not even there right now. Anything that's being done there right now is not acceptable in that regard. That's why when you read Isaiah 66 chapter, he says what? He looks upon anybody that offers an offering like they cut off a dog's neck. A dog's head and put on the altar. So what is, like I said to you, Hosea chapter 14, what does it say? We offer up the cares of our lips. We turn toward Jerusalem, Solomon's supplication. We turn toward Jerusalem and we offer up the cares of our lips. And we pray that Yah accepts our prayers and supplications and pray they're more acceptable than the fat of rams, lambs, of oxen on his altar. But we still observe the Passover. We still observe the Day of Atonement. We still observe the Feast of Tabernacles. We still observe the Feast of Ingathering. We still observe that. Now here in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 10, you know what they call Pentateuch. We don't observe that till we get in the land, and that's specifically said.
But again, the Passover is something that has to be done in the land also.
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say you have to do it.
You know what I'm saying is, let me get clarity. It's saying that, okay, but it doesn't say that you can't memorialize it or remember it and acknowledge it in captivity. It's not saying that. You ain't gonna find that nowhere. But you're trying to go through the motions
of doing it, though.
Again, we memorialize it. Yeah, we get as close as we can get in memorial, in memory. Okay, just like with Purim, same thing. Them 2 days in March, we recognize those 2 days. We memorialize them because that's when y'all reaped salvation for us, just like in Egypt. We don't forget that. Just like the Day of Atonement. We recognize that as best we can. That 7th month, which is October, okay? We did the 10th day. We stay in, we break the yoke totally, and we afflict our soul. Been doing it for years, all of that.
Right. Well, that's the Day of Atonement, but we're talking specifically about the Passover.
It's all of it that we memorialize it. He said it's a ordinance that should be observed in all thy generations.
But it didn't say all thy dwellings like you said at first.
Now, again, I was talking about the 7th-day Sabbath. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
In all thy dwellings, the 7th-day Sabbath. Okay? That's what, you understand? That's what I was referring to. In that regard, because in all thy dwellings is what you're supposed to stay in for that whole 24-hour period. You're not supposed to go out. That's why I mentioned earlier, when you check your copious notes, you'll hear me mention it in 1629 Exodus, when Moses said, let every man abide in his place on the Sabbath day. You're not supposed to go out. We are to be a peculiar people. We're not supposed to do what other people do. And that's what many of the Israelites is doing. They talking about, we got Sabbath day services Friday night. We got Sabbath day services Saturday. And then they go out. How are you at rest if you're going out of your door?
But if you're going out to serve the Most High, you are going for his service.
No. Ain't no twist in that. He says everything is supposed to rest.
Hold on. There have been wars that they fought.
Again, don't bring up that YHWH 6. That's what that freak, that jerk chick bring up on the debate that we did on the thing.
But it's true, though.
No, that's bull crap. Y'all gave an explicit command that was specifically for that period. But you can't tell the king what you ain't gonna do. It's all his law. And when he told them to go out on that 7th day and circumference Jericho 7 times and knock it off, that wasn't all the people. That was the army, not the women. And they didn't go out just out and about. They went out under Yah's explicit command to knock off Jericho. They went out with birds. They went out with weapons of war.
So you're saying that we can't leave at all when it's on the...
I ain't saying it. 1629 Exodus says it.
He was talking specifically about that particular when they went out looking for the
talk
quails.
Like that idiot in Cincinnati, man.
But that's what it says.
You had more sense than that. It does not. It says you're not supposed to let every man abide in his place on the Sabbath day. It ain't talking about nothing with no manner. It's saying don't go out on the Sabbath day. How you going to be at rest and you going out? Doesn't it say that your ass supposed to rest, your horse, your manservant, your maid servant? How you going to justify going out? That's totally ludicrous.
You're not working. If you're in the service of the Most High.
Look. I tell you what you do. You bring that to the Most High. All right, but don't bring that nonsense to me. You understand? When Yah says that everything's supposed to rest, that it starts with you. When he said your manservant, your maidservant, rest is rest. That ain't going out and about. That ain't cracking that threshold in that door. You supposed to be in when Moses said, let every man abide in his place on the Sabbath day. Well, abide in your place is where your place is for that 24-hour period when the Sabbath begins until it ends.
Well, first of all,
that's why you ain't seeing things, because you're violating stuff, and he got you skewed.
No, that's what you're doing.
No, okay, well,
that's what you're doing.
That's how I see it.
I get it, and you see things a lot of ways, and I'm trying to show you that that's not how it is.
We're gonna find out soon. You understand?
We will.
Who's serving Yah and who's not serving Yah. Malachi chapter 3.
Because you're clouded, because you're caught up in this Yah righteousness stuff. Have you ever considered the fact if you may not be that Yah righteousness? Have you considered that? Because like I told you before.
Let me explain something to you, partner. I am not Yah, our righteousness. He who creates is our righteousness. I understand the King. That's who that is. I'm just a representative of him. Now, he's going to make it plain, like I just said, Malachi 3, okay? Who's serving him and who's not serving him. All right? Just like we see in 52 Isaiah. All right? He's going to, all of the watchmen are going to see eye to eye when he brings again Zion. Okay? So now, like I said, when people say, hey, well, you know, you're the one if you ain't gone before 2016, then I tell them and I tell you the same, don't call in no more, because I'm lost. And if I'm wrong, I better run to that.
And where did you get that date from? Because you want to put specific dates on stuff, and it's not in there.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, you're adding to the word.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you out here. Because like I told you,
I tell you what you do.
I'm just trying to help you.
I tell you what you do. Stop trying to help me.
Okay.
Help yourself.
I'm not helping myself.
All right. Well, you do that.
But we're having a discussion.
Stop trying to help me.
Because
stop trying to help me.
I have
you
to
help you. No, you ain't.
That's like Ezekiel the 3rd chapter. Whether you help or bear.
And them people over there where you go. You help them. Stop trying to help me. Because I don't need that kind of help.
Because you are presuming too much with the word.
That's what you say. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to that.
But you are, though, and you're influencing others.
I said that's what you say, and you're entitled to that.
Let's go back. Because let me just say this real quick. It's like I told you before, YHWHudah. I'm prepared just to go back as a servant. I don't have to be no king. I don't have to be anything like that. And the way I approach
let me ask you a question. Why are you even saying that?
I'm saying that to say that sometimes people, you get clouded and you think that you have this mission, and that's why you're so rigid.
I do have a mission.
I know, but you think that your mission is to fulfill Jeremiah 23.
No, my mission is to get this third and last temple built atop Mount Moriah. I want you to make sure that you can play this back for yourself and whomever else want to listen to it. That's my mission.
That's all.
I don't know about your mission or nobody else. I know what my mission is since you brought that to me. I'll make it plain where you can hear it out of my mouth.
Okay.
My mission is to get this third and last temple built atop Mount Moriah and them sacrifices on. And Yah established in Jerusalem forever. That's my mission.
Okay, that's my mission too.
Well, I don't know what your mission is.
I'm telling you what my mission is.
Okay, well, I just told you mine, so you don't have to wonder about it.
Okay, but the reason why I bring that out,
you don't have to try to put no words in my mouth or try to make me be some, try to say I'm trying to be something other than.
No. I'm just
That's what you just did.
Well, let me just say this. I'm saying that to say that, okay, what if it turns out you're a Levite? Or what if it turns out you're a Benjamite? Are you prepared for all of that too? You have to keep yourself humble to where you may not.
So you perceive me as not being humble.
I'm not saying you're not humble. What I'm saying is
what you're saying,
you're caught up in this movement.
What am I caught up with?
And sometimes it's clouding your judgment. That's all I'm saying.
That's how you perceive it, and that's your opinion, and you're entitled to that.
Okay. But
I've always called myself a servant of the Most High.
I get that.
And that's all I ever want to be known as. When they put me in that hole or sepulcher, just write on there. If they can write on there, YHWHudah ben Israel, a servant of Yah, a job well done, I'll be quite pleased.
Okay.
Quite pleased.
I get that. But I'm just saying that we have to just be humble and make sure that we
Listen, let me tell you something, brother. Like I said to you before, okay? And you agreed that it has to be whatever the name of the Most High is, our righteousness. That's the book. I didn't write the book. I just follow it. Okay?
I got some research on that too.
Okay, so now my point again is, if you understand that and you talking this YHWHudah stuff, then you need to go set up YHWHudah righteousness. And then that's covered. And anybody that's in the Yahweh, 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 Jehovah, they need to do the same thing. And then we got it covered. The only thing the only thing that matters is that Yah gets established in Jerusalem forever. His third temple built, them sacrifices on, so that those of us who Yah brings back can get cleansed, and then we can he can bring forth them holy children. that this thing can be magnified forever.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
All the rest after that will fall into place.
Right. And that's my point. And like I said, we have to make sure that we separate what's our own personal dogmatic view.
Why you think you got to tell me that?
Because I see a lot of occasions where you are saying things and it's not clear like that in the scriptures.
It's not clear.
It's like going back to this whole thing about the milk and all this other stuff.
To you.
But
it's not clear to you.
If it was in the scriptures, it would be.
It's not clear to you.
Because it's not presented that way in the scriptures.
It's not clear to you.
And nobody else that sees the scriptures.
Huh? What?
Nobody else.
Are you speaking for everybody now?
I'm speaking for the people.
You can only speak for you.
Well, it's not clear to me based on the fact that it's not in the scriptures.
I said to you. Well, you can't speak for everybody else.
Well, your perspective
is your own that's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
Right. But all I'm just saying is that when you are clearly not correct, you tend to make excuses about that.
You see it.
You've done it. I got my copious notes right here.
And make sure you go over them real careful.
I know, I have. And
no, you haven't. Now, maybe today you will.
Yeah, maybe, but I got a good memory too, and I remember.
Well, you didn't have it right at the beginning of the day.
Huh?
You didn't have it right at the beginning of the day. You had recall. You just mentioned how I said that it's, in all thy dwellings dealing with the Passover. I didn't say that about the Passover. I said it about the 7th-day Sabbath, and it says that in 23:3.
You didn't say that. That's what you
not about the Passover.
You said
not in all thy dwellings with the Passover. I didn't say that.
You looked for it in Leviticus 23, and then you didn't find it in Leviticus 23.
And then it came back to me. I always said it about the 7th-day Sabbath because it says that explicitly.
I know that.
In all thy dwellings. That's why you don't go out.
Well, we were not.
Well, you collide stuff all the time.
No, I don't.
Pull stuff out of everywhere.
No, I don't.
Trying to prove your point.
No, we were talking before we even got into all thy dwellings regarding the Sabbath. We were talking about the Passover. I asked you to show me where the Passover was to be kept in all our dwellings. You said, okay, Leviticus 23.
But I was still confused.
But that's your problem. I don't know what you're confused.
But what the deal is, you do that all the time. You switch tracks. I just was late on that one.
I asked you.
And then when we got into it, then I had to recall.
Okay.
Because you do that all the time, like most people. You understand when they trying to prove their point, they reaching all the time.
No. I asked you
before I can finish saying on one thing, you reach and bring me something else.
But I asked you specifically about the Passover.
But the deal is, again,
if you didn't register quick,
what you said was on the Passover. Where does it say that we're supposed to keep it outside of the land? Right?
And you said in all your dwellings, and you took me to Leviticus 23.
And I just misspoke. I do that sometimes about that.
But that's the only point I'm making.
And I don't have any problem about saying that. I misspeak on some things sometimes.
Mm-hmm. We all do.
Because people, I don't know about all. I'm talking about me. All right?
Well, nobody's perfect.
Perfect, that don't apply. I'm perfect with Yah. Okay. That's all perfect means. When you're talking about people and trying to say perfect in relation to somebody never makes a sin or make a mistake, that doesn't apply. That's not what perfect is representative of in the book.
Okay.
Perfect is talking about somebody whose heart is one with Yah.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying that.
Oh, well, if you understand that, why did you use the term imperfect? We're not perfect.
I'm talking within the context of what we're saying now is if making no mistakes. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, again, no, that's understood.
Okay, that's all.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Okay.
But I was talking about me, and I don't have no problem saying it.
Okay.
I just got confused on that point for that moment.
Alrighty. Okay, we can move on then. Now, I wanted you to deal with a couple more scriptures regarding this evening thing.
It ain't gonna change.
Okay, I just want to get your take on it. Whether it changes or not, I just want to see what you say about it. Okay, let's turn to Numbers chapter 11. I kind of want you to read along with me so you'll see.
I'm going.
Okay.
Because you're not supposed to go out on 7th-day Sabbath at all. You're supposed to rest in your dwelling, wherever your dwelling is for that day.
Okay, well.
And that's explicit. People bringing that like your idiot up there in Cincinnati had the people calling it about YHWH chapter 6. That was totally inane.
Well, like you said, we're all going to know the truth in the end, and we'll get it together.
Some of us know it now.
Well, some of us perceive that we know it, and some of us may not.
That's true. You absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Some of us do perceive that we know it.
But I want to deal with a few things here. You know what? Even before I go here, I got another one. We're still in Numbers. Let's go to Numbers 28 chapter before we go here. Now this is still back on the subject of a day, when a day starts. Okay, now we were talking before about offerings, right? And I'm going to start at verse 3. Let's start before that, but I'll just start at 3. It says, "And thou shalt say unto them, This is the offering made by fire, which ye shall offer unto Yahuwah 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day." So that means every day we were supposed to offer 2 lambs for a continual burnt offering. 1 lamb shall thou offer in the morning, which is the beginning of the day, and the other lamb.
Say.
Okay. Okay.
You're talking about a 24-hour period.
Hold on. We're just reading what it says.
It says you're talking, when you say it's the beginning of a day, that day that you're talking about is a 24-hour period, is what you're in reference to, right?
Let me just read what it says.
I already read it. I know what it says, but I'm saying I want to get understanding, clarity on when you say day, when you pronounce it, you're saying that's the beginning of a 24-hour period. Isn't that what you're saying? That's what you're saying.
I'm talking about with the daylight. I'm talking daylight.
I said, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. I didn't say 24-hour period. I said
okay.
The day part.
I just want to get it plain. Okay, go ahead.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because of what this says. It says one.
I already read it. I know what it says.
Okay, but I'm not talking 24 hours. I'm talking the day part, the light part of the day. Mm-hmm. It says, "The 1 lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb shalt thou offer at even." Now remember, this is considered day by day. So how is it that this can say 2 lambs per day when one is in the morning and one is at even?
Okay, well again, if you offer one, it says every day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you offer one in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and then you offer one in the evening, and then you offer one in the next morning, right? Mm-hmm. And then you offer one in the next evening.
Yeah.
I mean, night. That's 2, isn't it? Isn't that 2 in the day? If you offer one in the morning, mm-hmm. and you already offered one the night before, that's 2 in the day, isn't it?
It says day by day.
I said, you understand? You offer one in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and then you offer one in the evening,
mm-hmm.
and then you offer one in the morning,
mm-hmm.
and then you offer one in the evening.
Yeah.
That's 2, day by day. You
yeah.
offered one in the morning, you offered one in the evening, you offered one in the morning, you offered one in the evening. That's 2, day by day.
So you're interpreting this as what? A 24-hour
That's what it says.
Okay.
Every 24-hour period, you offer one in the evening, you offer one in the day, in the morning. That's 2.
But where does it say 24-hour period? It's just saying within the day.
It's
saying the beginning of the day and the end of the day.
It said day, which
mm-hmm.
where it says here evening, doesn't it say what it says? Evening or nighttime?
It says even.
Even.
Mm-hmm.
Night. One in the daylight, one at the dark. And you do it the next day, one in the daylight.
It says 2 per day.
Dark. Yeah, isn't that 2?
In the morning and the evening.
I said, isn't that 2?
Yeah, within the day part, within the light part.
I said you offer one when it gets dark,
mm-hmm.
I offer lamb. Right? The next morning, I offer another lamb. Okay? That's 2 in a day.
That's not what it's saying, brother. See, that's what I'm saying. You're trying to bring stuff into this that ain't there.
It's saying
the morning and the evening.
It's saying the same thing that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's just written that way. It's not negating that the dark starts the beginning of a 24-hour period. It's not negating that. That's just how you're interpreting it. And that's how it's written. And like I said, it could very well be, and I have no doubt, that Esau wrote it like this purposely.
See,
That's right.
There you go.
And I say that to everybody. You got to remember, you dealing with a transliteration. That let me. I tell you what.
But you can't do that every time a point doesn't favor you.
It ain't favoring me.
Your
it ain't
position.
about me. That's just how you perceive it. See, you said that to me the first time you came over here.
Because you
when
always
you first
do it.
sat down, what you said was, I can tell you something and you can tell me something. So that let me know right from the get-go that you came over here to tell me something that you was doing that wasn't in harmony with what I was saying, what you saw on the internet. You follow what I'm saying?
What?
You came over here to like say that I'm wrong
No.
in something. That's exactly what you did. Other than that, you wouldn't have said that. Because that's not even necessary. See, you intimated to me that right from the get-go.
Well,
you said, I can tell you something and you can tell me something. That ain't even necessary.
Well, that's iron sharpening iron.
Understood.
That's iron
but
sharpening
that's
iron.
understood.
Right.
So why did you say that?
Because we can learn from each other.
But that's understood.
Yeah.
So why did you say that? You follow what I'm saying?
The same reason why you said.
Look, check this out.
What you say?
When I came into the bank, you approached me. I don't know you from Adam's house cat.
True. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So, you understand? I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
You doing what you doing. You could have kept on doing it. You didn't have to approach me. You didn't have to. If you disagree with me, that's fine. You
that don't mean I disagree with everything you say.
But you're not going to change this.
I'm not trying to change it.
That's exactly what you're doing. That's why you keep talking to me the way you're talking to me. When you go back and check your notes, you'll hear it. You see what I'm saying?
We're having a heated debate.
No, it ain't heated. It ain't heated.
It is heated.
It's not heated. It's not
there's
heated.
nothing wrong with
the
that.
point being
iron sharpens iron.
that
Don't we always say always say that?
You came with that perspective from the get-go.
What does me and you both say?
Okay?
Haven't we both said iron sharpens iron?
That's understood.
Okay, then.
That's why I said it wasn't even necessary to say it.
But have you not said that?
But when you said that, no.
You have said that.
What I said was in reference to what you said, because you brought it to me. I don't bring that up when I talk to people.
Well, you said
I said when you brought it to me, I just related what it says in the book. I understand that. That's understood. I mean, when we converse, it ain't even necessary for you to say, you can tell me something and I can tell you something. What you telling me that for? You understand? That's understood. See, it's Yah that's between us. It's Yah between everybody. It's Yah that's running the show. I don't run it. I just take orders.
So do I.
Simple as that.
Right.
So that's understood. You understand? Because if people are pursuing truth, y'all gonna bring the truth.
That's true.
Simple as that.
That's
the only problem comes when people is doing something that they trying to squeeze through and make be right, and it ain't. Then that's when
that goes both ways.
I said people.
Exactly.
I said people. Am I a human being?
Yeah.
Then I'm a person, ain't I?
Exactly.
A person is part of people, ain't it? I said the only time that doesn't come is when somebody's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
Is when they don't see something. And the reason why they don't see something is because Yah's not allowing them to see it.
Right.
Now, for whatever reason, it's something in them that Yah's got them blocked. For whatever reason. It might be it ain't time for them to see it.
That's exactly right.
Okay? It might be that they got something in their heart that's not in harmony with Yah. And that's why he's got them blocked.
That's true.
Okay? But it's Yah that's blocking them. Simple as that.
Right.
And that's why I said Malachi 3. We're going to eventually, everybody's going to discern who's serving Yah and who's not serving Yah. And I still say, and I always going to say, when you read in this book, you always have to remember who translated it. All right? Because it was the descendants of Esau that translated this book coming up through time. We never translated it. We never had any need to translate it. And the Gentiles that translated it, he got rid of those translations.
Right.
And got rid of them too.
But I'm going to say this in response to you, the same thing I told you before. That's true. We did not translate this. But we know that the Heavenly Father is going to make sure that we get enough truth that we will know right from wrong. Your point in making that is oftentimes when there's something that does not jive with something you agree upon. That's my point. A lot of times you throw that out there. When I show you a point and you don't agree with it, you say, well, you know who translated this book.
Yeah,
you can't do that every time as your get out of jail free card and every time something doesn't reflect your belief.
Again,
I agree with you. It was translated.
My belief
But
like I said to you at the top of this conversation today, when you went there about they ate cheese, I seen that before.
Yeah.
Cow's cheese.
And I asked you specifically.
And I said to you, David was a human being. He didn't always do right. We know this.
Okay. But where can you show me?
And then possibly, you understand that they might not have really understood that then. Possibly.
And that's when I asked you.
Possibly.
That's when I asked you if King David understood the law.
Because again, hey, I would think he had a good grasp of it, but I can't say he totally understood it, because when we go to First Chronicles, you understand, and we read there when they went to get the Ark of the Covenant and was bringing it up, and Yah broke forth when Uzzah touched the Ark and killed Uzzah, and it scared him, and they took the Ark over into Obed-Edom's house.
Yeah.
How long did it take? About 60 days, something like that?
Yeah.
90 days before David, sitting, scrutinizing it, Yah brought to him through his spirit, okay, the reason why Yah broke forth on us is because we didn't do it after the due order. Because the order is from Yah, his command, and it has a certain order that it must be done.
Right.
And so that what did he say? Go get the Levites. He said, go sanctify the Levites.
Right.
Okay, so that they can bring up the ark. Because it's because we didn't do it after the due order that Yah broke forth a breach upon us.
Right.
Okay? So we know right there he didn't understand all of the law then. So now from that, how much more of the law did he might not understood at a particular time?
You can. That's an open-ended question, but the point
it always is open to question.
But we're dealing as it relates to him and the others that were with him eating cheese.
Is
and you said
always
clearly,
is open to question when you're dealing with humans.
Yeah.
But in chapter 32 Deuteronomy, that's Yah talking.
Right. But
that ain't no human talking.
But it was It would have been counted as sin. That, like I asked you earlier, if King David would have consumed,
that's why I brought up about Rebecca.
Well, hold on. If King David would have consumed, because it stated that he ate the cheese or that he had the cheese, right? Okay, we're not talking about Rebecca or somebody else whose sins are not mentioned. We're talking about something that was done and it was written. But if it was written, hold on. If he did something,
David, listen. See, what you're doing is let me say this. What you're doing is, okay, like a lot of people do. Just like what you just said, and you go back over your notes, you hear you say it. You said he sinned. Okay? Now,
I said who sinned?
Wait a minute. You said David when he ate the cheese. You're saying like I said he sinned.
Right.
Right? Okay, wait a minute. See, humans sin. But I'm not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like he ate cow's cheese. If cow's cheese is incorrect, it's not so much that you're sinning against Yah, you're sinning against yourself. You're hurting yourself.
What did it say that though?
But the point being is, like I said to you earlier, and I've said this to you before, we know from things that we've read and we've witnessed, and I'm talking about what I've witnessed, and you probably witnessed it too. I don't know now because you're younger than I am, but years ago, when they used to feed children cow's milk, the child's nose, because I had it, filled with snot. They fill with mucus, okay? Which causes what? Asthma, okay? Hard to breathe. It can cause headaches, constipation. This is a fact.
But does that mean that it's against the law of Yah?
But the point, what I'm saying to you is...
Some people can't eat beef because they got high blood pressure.
Why do they have high blood pressure?
It could be any number of reasons.
Yeah, but the point being is the main reason...
But does that mean beef is against the law, though? It could be a reason that they get snot.
The main reason is because they're eating other things that they shouldn't be eating.
Maybe that's the case with milk.
Which causes the high blood pressure.
Exactly. Maybe that's the case with the milk.
And this is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
And I say it hurts you. It ain't so much... Yah is laying down to us guidelines that if we adhere to, that's going to what? Prolong life. Now, it's certain things in the law, without a doubt, many things that if we do, we're actually sinning and blaspheming Yah. Okay? We're like in blasphemous to Yah. We're like in denial of Yah, or we're exalting some idols, or we're taking upon ourselves, which again, if we eat in this cow's milk and it is detrimental to us, which it is, you understand what I'm saying?
I've been drinking milk since I was a kid, nothing happened.
But again, Well,
and millions of people like
maybe it's nothing that you can perceive now. Because I know a brother that drinks milk and drinks a lot of it. And he's had problems for years with fluid in his chest. I know other people that have asthma. Okay? And it's, you know, the industrial medical complex is not going to actually tell you what is the problem, what you're doing, because they don't care.
So here's the distinction.
So you could be hurting yourself, and it hasn't shown up necessarily right now, but it could in the future.
I think this is what needs to be done, because it's just like if you decide you don't want to eat chicken or you decide you don't want to eat anything. There's a good reason not to eat any of this stuff, because I'm trying to be honest with you, I'm going to start getting more along the lines of trying to eat a post diet and trying to eliminate meat altogether at some point, but I still consume, you know, turkey, chicken, things like that, but I try to cut down on red meat anyway. But because of all the GMOs and all the different additives that they put in this stuff, because the Most High said it's going to be like dung, so we know that. But we still have to eat, but we have to discern. But what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a distinction between you doing it because of health reasons or because you feel that of all the additives that they're putting in this stuff, as opposed to trying to make it lawful.
No, what I'm saying
that's all I'm saying.
Yah is saying, he's intimating there, if we're going to drink milk, this is the milk that you should drink. Okay? He's saying
didn't say that. You're adding
he's
that.
saying the milk of sheep. He didn't say, listen.
He didn't say butter of kine. He didn't say milk of kine.
But my point is, by him saying, through Moses, because this ain't Moses, this is Yah talking through him. All right? Moses is a mouthpiece. By him saying, milk of sheep, and then saying, but butter of kine, that is exclusive. All right?
He was making a point. He was talking about the richness. If you notice all the foods that he's talking about, he was talking about butter, milk, honey. He was making a point about prosperity, Yehudah. It was not about dietary law.
Okay.
That's all that was.
All right. And you take it like that, brother.
That's how it was.
Then you take it like that. You deal from that perspective. Like I said, we ain't going to have no meeting on the mind on that.
That's fine.
And you got to pursue what you pursue, and I'm pursuing what I pursue, and we'll see.
Okay.
Y'all's going to make it all plain in the future, hopefully soon.
Exactly, because we need it. But anyway, let's get back to the premise. The point that I'm making is that I want you to deal with Numbers 11, still with the point about the day.
We just dealt with it, didn't we?
No, we still dealing. I guess I still got a few more
they all
shots in the.
They all going to say something similar to what you just pointed out, and it's not going to change a thing.
No, I still want you to address it.
You offer a lamb on the evening, and you offer one on the morning, and you offer one on the next evening. That's 2 in one day, but it's still going to be about the same thing.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Ain't no need in beating the dead horse, because it ain't going to change with me. See, like I said to you before, just about...
Do you accept the possibility that you could be wrong on this?
I don't accept anything.
Do you think it's possible that you could be wrong?
I don't accept anything. Now, the point
Do you think it's possible that you could be wrong?
What I see you're doing, you're running over the word even. You don't really understand.
I understand exactly what you said. I looked at both.
You keep reading, and when you go over your notes, you're going to hear yourself say, when you just read there in Deuteronomy chapter 16 a little earlier, and it starts out saying we came out of Egypt at night. I mentioned earlier when we went to Leviticus the 23rd chapter that it specifically says, because you asked me that. When you go over your notes, you'll see it earlier in the conversation today. Where does it say that the Passover begins on the 15th day? Okay, but it actually says that in Leviticus 23. It starts on the 15th day, not the 14th day. Simple as that. I mean, you know, you be talking about what's in the book and how it reads. It says that. It starts on the 15th day, not on the 14th. You read that. You want to read it again?
No, I read it, but that still is not saying that the day started in that evening. Because remember, the Passover was supposed to not be kept over till the morning. That's what it says.
Now you know what you're doing? You're doing the same thing what I said earlier, a little while ago. You're reaching and grabbing for something to try to substantiate.
No, I'm not. I'm just reading it for what it is.
I'm going to read. No, but you ain't reading it for what it's saying. I'm going to read it to you again. 23rd chapter.
You said that the Passover starts on the 14th day, right?
No, you said that.
When does the Feast of Unleavened Bread start?
I told you once before, they both start at the same time. Verse 6, 23rd chapter.
One says the 14th, the other one says the 15th.
23rd chapter, Leviticus. Okay?
Let me turn.
I'm going to pick it up at the 4th verse.
Let me get there first, bro. You said 25, 23 and what?
And verse 4. These are the feasts of Yah, even holy convocations.
Feast, plural. Not singular, plural. Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's mentioning more than one, right?
Yeah. Did I say what?
But you're trying to make the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover the exact same holy day. They're associated, yes, but they're not the exact same.
David, we're dealing with the 23rd chapter.
Okay.
It's a lot of Sabbath days
That's true.
Talked about here.
Okay. And that's my point. He's mentioning multiple days.
Did I say he wasn't?
Okay. Well, okay. Just make your point.
Thank you. You putting words in my mouth. You implying.
I'm saying what you said. Which is that
no, you're not saying what because I didn't say anything about that.
Okay, go on.
You're implying. That's
okay.
what you do.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Thank you. These are the feasts of Yah, even the holy convocations which you shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at even is Yah's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yah. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said you earlier, Passover starts the feast of unleavened bread.
I'm not denying
7 days. It's the same thing. It's all in the same thing.
The Passover starts on the 14th day, as it says here.
It didn't say that.
It says in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuwah's Passover.
It says again, on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread.
That's unleavened bread, brother.
It says at even. I keep telling you, run over the word.
It says
even.
the 15th day at the same month.
On the fourth, in the 4th verse, which you shall proclaim in their seasons. In a 5th verse, in the 14th day of the first month. When?
At even.
And what does that mean?
That means that the even was still the 14th day. You're trying to make the 14th and the 15th day simultaneous at the same time.
It just told you the 15th day.
Because you're trying. This is what you're doing.
What does even mean again for the umpteenth time? What does even mean?
Even means the end of the day.
It doesn't say that. Look it up again in your Strongs. That's why you brought it, right? Look it up. You got it there. Stop looking at me. I never left. You looked it up earlier.
Evening, dusk.
Not evening. Even.
Okay, let me go to even.
Yeah, because you did that. That's right. Why you say it like that?
Because you acting like they're so different.
They are. Because even has got one definition, not multiple.
Let's go to even. Okay,
you went there earlier. When you go back in your notes, you go in. That's what you got to do.
We'll go again.
Because evidently you forgot.
I didn't forget.
You must have.
Okay. I'm going to read it again, brother. And now I'm going to read it specifically as it's stated here on Leviticus 23, verse 5. So let me find that here. Okay, and they give me the same definition, 61:53, which is Arab. And you just said it only had one definition, right? Which is incorrect. That's the one that says dusk, day, evening, night. That's the one that has the multiple. You just said it had one definition.
That's even?
That's even, brother.
Okay.
Okay. So, you were incorrect.
Okay, I was incorrect, but it still means night. Because you looked it up in another spot if I'm not...
I was looking up evening, brother.
No, I said even, not evening.
Well, yeah, because again, it depends on the word.
You just looked up even, didn't you?
I looked up even, and I traced it back to this same spot. I looked at it. It's right here. Get your coordinates and let me show you. This is even. Mm-hmm. We're in Leviticus 23 and 5, right? Right there. You see what that says? Mm-hmm. 61:53, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when I go to 61:53, you see what it says? Arab, dusk, day, even, night.
Okay, now go to the even over in chapter 12.
We're dealing with this one, bro.
I said, but I just want to see the difference in the even.
Which even are you referring to?
I said the even over in chapter 12.
Okay.
Exodus. Go to that one.
12 in Exodus. Mm-hmm. What verse were you referring to?
Over here.
Okay, so 12 and what you want? Because there's like...
Take the 15th, the 15th or the 18th verse.
The 18th is the same thing, brother.
No, it's not.
It's right here.
I said the 15th. That's got 389.
Oh, okay, 389.
But here it says 14th day of the month at even.
Okay, and it's the same thing.
6153.
But it's
Okay,
it's the same thing, bro.
Okay,
That's my whole
I
point.
just wanted to know.
Okay, so that's why I'm
Now,
trying
when
to tell
you
you.
looked up even, that's what
I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
No, but you said it was two different words before. You said you looked up even and you looked up evening.
Yeah.
And you said it was two different
Evening
words.
is just night, period. It's not even. You said that.
Okay, so evening is the night.
Yes.
Okay, so it's the even that's got the two different definitions.
You just read it, brother.
I said it's evening.
But
they give you the one.
But here's the problem. This is what I see. You're still taking. It's telling you the primary root for Arab or even is dusk. As a secondary definition, they're telling you night. Yeah, you always want to go with the primary definition.
But the point being is, you do? Why is that?
Within the context, because again, this is talking about, look at the context that we're talking here.
Yeah.
14th day at even.
At night.
And it's still...
It says that the Passover started at night, right? Doesn't it say that in the word?
Huh?
Doesn't it say that in the word?
Yeah.
Okay, so my point again is, and I'll say it to you again, okay, focus.
I'm focused, brother.
Oh, I hope so. Again, on the 14th day at even, okay, you're saying that means what?
I'm saying it's the 14th day still. It's not the 15th day.
You're saying that means what?
I'm saying at even, in this case.
What were they doing?
What do you mean?
On the 14th day at even, what were they doing?
They were preparing the Passover.
Okay, and so what did that entail?
They had to cook the Passover.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So therefore, would it be night or would it be sunset?
It's night.
It is?
The bottom line is, it's still the 14th day at even. Let's not lose track about what we're saying here.
I'm not. That's what I want you to do. Okay, so you're saying on the 14th day when it says at even, they started preparing the Passover lamb, correct? And you're saying it was dark, night, right? Then.
I'm saying that it was the end of the day.
You don't keep changing. Night. You just said one thing.
See, you're splitting hairs because if it's dust,
I'm not splitting hairs. I'm asking you. You first said that the 14th day at even they started preparing the Passover lamb and it was night. That's what you first said. Yeah. Now what are you going to say?
I'm saying the same thing.
Okay. Now, you just read where the Passover started on the 15th day, correct?
I saw where the Feast of Unleavened Bread started on the 15th day.
Okay, all right, okay. That started on the 15th day, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So now we know it ends at the end of the 21st day, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now, when you look at that, 23, okay? I'm looking for where, here it is, verse 6. You see what it says? And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And you're saying there's two different things.
I'm saying there's two different things, brother.
Okay. Unto Yah. Well, I know there's two different things in the sense of actually, what's going on with them, but they both happen at the same time. That's what I'm saying. You're saying...
You're still incorrect.
You're saying that the Passover starts on the 14th day.
That's what the scriptures are saying, brother.
No, it's not. But I say that's what you're saying.
So you're ignoring the 5th verse?
Wait a minute. And you're saying that the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on the 15th.
That's what I'm reading in the scriptures.
Okay, well then let's finish reading this verse here. Okay? Verse 6. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. This only goes from the 15th through the 21st.
Right, that's the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's correct.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you this. When did they start eating the Passover lamb? Did they eat it on the 14th day? Or did they start eating it on the 15th?
They started eating it on the 14th because it couldn't be held over to the next day. They had to consume it before morning. They started eating on the 14th, brother, and it could not go over to the morning. That's what the Passover lamb was about. You had to consume it in haste. And if none was to be left over in the morning, and if any was left, it should be burnt. You disagree with that?
Total.
So when was the Passover lamb consumed then?
It was started to be eaten right when it got dark at even.
What date?
which began on the 15th day.
Where are you reading that?
I'm reading it right here.
That ain't what that says, brother.
That's what it says to me. That's not what it says to you.
So
they start, like I told you earlier, when they got sunset, dusk, the sun was down on the 14th day. It's still the 14th day, and they started cooking the Passover lamb, because it took a good hour, maybe a little better, to cook that lamb, because they can't eat it when it's bloody. They have to eat it when it is done. And it takes a good hour, possibly, or maybe a little better, to roast. When you say a lamb of the first year is going to weigh maybe what? Because I've never dealt with sheep to know how much a lamb.
You don't have to know that, brother. Just look at the scriptures for what it's saying, brother. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Again, I'll say what I say I need to know, okay? Not what you tell me I need to know.
Okay.
A lamb of the first year, I would think, on the estimate, 50 pounds? That's a lot of meat. Okay? And you're cooking, maybe let's even say 40. Okay? Okay, because I know that it says roast, it's got to be roasted. So that's intense heat. And how they got that lamb over the spit.
And what's your point, brother?
I'm making the point. It has to be whole. And it's going to take it a good hour.
Okay.
Maybe a little better.
Okay.
To roast it where it's done.
All right. So let's say it takes an hour now.
And therefore, when the sun goes down on the 14th day, like I said to you earlier, and I said to you last time you was here, you got, if there's no clouds in the sky, you got about 55 minutes before it actually gets dark, before it goes into night. And they was cooking that lamb that time. That's about how long it's going to take for it to get done. Okay? And maybe, like I said, a little bit longer, all depending on, like I said, I don't know what the actual poundage of
you concerning yourself with stuff that's irrelevant.
That's not irrelevant.
Okay, just finish, brother.
It's not irrelevant.
Whenever
at
you
all.
get done,
I think that's very pertinent.
Okay.
Because evidently you don't do any cooking.
I do cook, brother.
Because if you did cook, you would know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Because if you got, like, for instance, a 6-pound roast takes over an hour to get done.
Okay. So let's,
and that's just 6 pounds.
Okay, so
and we're talking about a lamb.
Okay, so in other words, it's going to take a while for this lamb to cook.
Because we just read earlier where it says that if that lamb is too big, you know what I mean, if it's a nice size, then it's more for your household. You people next door,
right?
Come on over and y'all eat off that same lamb. Okay, and it's saying that any left, because it's a lot of meat, you don't leave it. You burn the rest of it with fire, whatever's not eaten. That's very pertinent, how big it is, because you're talking about how long it's going to take it to cook.
So let's get right to the point here.
That is the point.
Hold on.
When the sun went down on the 14th day, the sun set. That's when they started cooking the lamb.
Okay.
Like I said to you before, Passover hadn't started yet.
So
Passover hadn't started yet.
So it doesn't start on the 14th day?
What constitutes Passover? Passover. What constitutes that, David?
It's the whole process.
What constitutes Passover? It ain't no whole process. Passover is when Yah passed over the children of Israel and dropped the firstborn man and beast. And he didn't do it until the 15th day.
Where are you getting that from?
Right there.
YHWHudah.
Because on the 15th day, that's when they was eating the unleavened bread. That's when they was eating the Passover lamb.
They didn't eat the lamb on the 15th day.
They didn't?
No.
Okay.
They had to eat it before the 15th day. YHWHudah, turn to Numbers chapter 9. Let me show you this right now. YHWHudah, it's telling you clearly that the Feast of Unleavened Bread started on the 15th.
You can't see it, bro.
YHWHudah.
Ain't no need to keep beating the dead horse. I tried one. Ain't no need. You can't see it.
Huda, you're adding to the word.
All right. Whatever you say.
Where does it say that they were eating the Passover lamb on the 15th?
Whatever you say.
Where is it at?
Whatever you say, Cat.
No, it's not whatever I say. Show me that in the scriptures.
Evidently.
Show me in the scriptures. Where does it say we were eating the Passover lamb? Let me show you what my point is. I said it
just showed you here in Leviticus was that verse 6. On the 15th day.
That's the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Were they eating the bread without the flesh?
Yes, it was only the bread.
Okay.
Let me prove that to you.
All right.
Numbers chapter 9, verse 11. Pay attention to this, Yehuda. Yehuda, listen to this. The 14th day of the second month at even. This is when they are going outside. Because remember, like I showed you earlier, if somebody's outside the land, they're supposed to keep the Passover the same exact way as if they had not been defiled by a man, or if they went out on this long journey. But the process is still the same. So pay attention to what he says. Now this is referring to the people on a long journey, or if they're defiled. They're supposed to come back to the land and keep it this exact way. At even, they shall keep it and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Now you're eating the Passover on the 14th day with the unleavened bread and the bitter herbs.
Still
on the 14th
over
day.
The word even. And for that spot it means night. Because it's the 15th day, what you just read there in the 23rd chapter. 15th day. Not the 14th. They just prepared it on the 14th.
It says you should eat it on the 14th day.
Where does it say that?
Right here, it says on the 14th day.
You running over the word even.
Because even is saying that it's still part of the 14th day.
That's how you interpreting that.
Where does it say 15th day?
When it says at even, that's at night. And that is the 15th day. Like I just said, you hear in 23rd chapter Leviticus, it says on the 15th day.
That's the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
You just said that they eating the bread with the flesh. You just said that.
Yes, but that's part of the Passover.
And that's on the 15th day.
But that is you ate the Passover lamb with the bread.
You can't see it, Cap. You can't see it.
That's why I'm trying to tell you there are two different holy days.
You don't want to see it.
So just because
y'all just not letting you see it.
So just
there's nothing that can be done about it. Ain't no need you keep beating that.
So just because they were eating the Passover with unleavened bread, you said that that's the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
You just saw it in Leviticus 23 on the 15th day through the 21st day.
That's the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
7 days.
That's only the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Days.
So are they eating lamb with that? Hold on. Are they eating lamb with that?
All in the same thing.
Are they eating lamb during those 7 days?
They're eating the lamb and the bread when Passover's going on.
Hold on. So you're saying
simple
that,
as that.
If you're saying that
15th day.
So if you're saying that the same, so are they eating the Passover lamb for the entire 7 days? Or what are you saying? If you're trying to make them the same.
There you go again.
I'm just trying to understand you, brother.
I didn't say that. Where you getting that from?
You saying they're the same.
Where you getting that from?
I'm getting it from you. You're saying that they're the same. So I'm asking you, are they eating the Passover
I said earlier that Passover happens at the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They both happen at the same time.
When does Passover
I just said it a minute ago. When you go back over your notes. When Passover was jumping off, they was eating the Passover lamb and the unleavened bread and the bitter herbs.
That wasn't the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They were just eating the unleavened bread with the Passover lamb.
All right.
So when does the Passover end, brother? According to you, when does it officially end? If it starts on the 15th, when does it end? Does it run for 7 days? The Passover I'm talking about. Can you answer that?
It's not going to do any good.
It will do because I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I mean, it's totally ludicrous for you to ask me that.
Why is it?
Passover, I done said it how many times? Passover is when Yah passed over the children of Israel and dropped the firstborn man and beast of Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
On the 15th day. So what?
When does the Passover end, though? I'm asking you again. When does the Passover end? When does it end, brother? Because the Feast of Unleavened Bread ends on the 21st day. That's clear. So are you saying that the Passover ends on the 21st day? I'm trying to understand what point you're making. Because I know when the Passover started, but I want to know from you when it ends. And if you're trying to make them synonymous, then you have to say that the Passover ended on the 21st day.
No, I don't.
Well, okay, when does it end?
When those firstborn man and beast dropped.
I'm talking about as it relates to us keeping.
Over
I know
the
that.
children of Israel. It's self-explanatory.
What day does the Passover end?
It's self-explanatory.
Why don't you
It
explain?
ended on the same day it started, the 15th day.
It ended on the same day it
The
started?
same day it started, the 15th day.
The 15th day. But why
How
is
many
it saying?
times you want me to say it?
But how is it started saying that you have to start it on the 14th day if you're saying it ended on the same day, which is the 15th?
It's self-explanatory.
It's saying it started on the 14th day.
No, what it says is that they started preparing.
Let me read it again. It says, on the 14th day of the second month at even.
At even, which is the 15th day.
That ain't saying that.
It is to me, it just ain't to you.
Well, then why did it just not say the 15th day then?
It just said that. I just read it to you.
That's the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
It is. Verse 6, and on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
So are they eating lamb?
7 days you must eat unleavened bread. Yeah.
Well, where's the lamb
They're
at?
eating lamb.
Where does it say that? So they're eating lamb for 7
You just said
days?
it yourself. When you go back over your notes, you'll hear you say it. They ate the flesh, the bread, and the bitter herb.
That was on the 14th day. That's what I'm saying.
yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
And you showed me this. It says unleavened bread on the 15th day.
I ain't seen it. Where does it say they ate that on the 14th day?
Right here, brother.
Right where? It says at even. That's the 15th day.
But see, that's why you can't see it, because you keep making the 15th day start at the night.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
All right, that's to you.
Okay, then why does
That's
it not?
to you.
Hold on.
We just went over that in Genesis chapter 1.
Well, how come it doesn't say that they were going to be eating the Passover lamb for 7 days?
Just answered that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Because you claim that
You just answered it. What did they do with all that they didn't eat?
they had to burn it before the morning.
Correct.
Before the morning.
So why are you asking me that silly mess about were they eating the lamb all 7 days?
Because
it ain't.
I'm asking you that because you're trying to make them the same thing.
I ain't trying to make it. They are. They start at the same time.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, well, that's how you see it.
Okay, so if it's supposed to be consumed before the morning, how in this case on the 15th day, where it doesn't even mention the lamb, and the reason why the lamb is not mentioned is because they had to consume it before the end of the 14th. That's why you don't see lamb there, brother. That's why it talks about the unleavened bread being ate.
Okay.
From the 15th to the 21st.
Okay, you keep doing it that way.
Brother,
you keep
that's
looking
what
at
it is.
That way.
That's the.
I said you keep looking at it that way.
So you're telling me on the one hand that the feast, the Passover started on the 15th and it ended on the 15th, but you can't show me where on the 15th they were eating lamb. You can't show me that.
What you talking about? I can't show you. They didn't start eating it until the 15th day. It wasn't done until the 15th day. It says at even. But at night.
It's still considered at the 14th day.
At night. It ain't saying that. That's how you interpreted that.
Okay, now when you read it right here in Leviticus 23, it's saying clearly that the Feast of Unleavened Bread began on the 15th. Is that not correct?
It says that in verse 6.
Okay, so where is the lamb mentioned at in the 15th day? Where's the lamb at? Where's the lamb at, brother?
So what you saying? They just was eating bread? That's what you saying?
What do you think the Feast of Unleavened Bread is?
I don't think. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is just that. They eat unleavened bread for 7 days. They started eating it on the 15th day.
Okay, so
with Passover.
Where is that at? What does it say they were eating it with Passover lamb? The lamb's supposed to be consumed before the morning. You see what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? Yeah, it was nice. So what you keep mentioning that for?
Because you're trying to have it both ways.
I ain't trying to have it both ways. It was dark when they started eating the Passover lamb.
Listen to what you
and they was eating the unleavened bread as well, because the bread didn't have time to rise.
I got my copious notes.
He told them to eat it with unleavened bread.
So you just said that they were eating lamb.
Didn't he tell them to eat it with unleavened bread?
For the first day.
Didn't he tell them to eat it with unleavened bread?
For the 14th, yes.
All right then.
But
with bitter herbs, didn't he?
On the 14th, yes.
No, it doesn't say that.
That's what I just read 3 times.
No, you just read it and you ran over the word even.
So again, bro.
At even.
So let me ask you this again.
Even.
So are you on record?
When even comes today, it'll be the 26th.
So you're saying that they were eating the Passover lamb for 7 days. Is that what you're saying?
Now you're acting inane again. I already answered.
Well, you just
Why are you asking me that?
Because you just contradicted yourself.
I didn't contradict myself.
You want me to play it back?
Play it back. Play it back.
When I give you the copy of this, you're going to hear it. Because we still record. But you just said that they was eating the Passover lamb with the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
That's right.
But then
they was eating it, started eating with the unleavened bread. That is at the beginning.
Okay.
And then they eat unleavened bread all the way through the 7 days.
That's what I was asking you.
Why you keep asking me this silly stuff?
Okay, so my point is...
What's your point?
How are they the same then?
What are you talking about? They happen at the same time. Passover is when he passed over the children of Israel. They started eating unleavened bread that day.
Those are 2 different holy days is what I'm telling you.
Okay, well, you keep looking at it like that.
So
you keep looking at it like that. You just read in Leviticus 23 where it says it starts on the 15th day.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread is
That's right.
Yeah.
And it starts with eating that lamb.
It started on the 14th.
It starts with eating that. No, they started cooking it. And it says at even is when they ate it. At even is when they ate it. At nighttime is when they ate it.
But it was still the 14th day, brother.
No, it wasn't.
So if they started...
You just read where it says start on the 15th day.
So, okay, let's take what you're saying.
It goes 7 days, not 8.
What goes 7 days?
Feast of Unleavened Bread and Passover starts on the 15th day.
So the Passover goes from 7 days?
Passover starts on the 15th day that triggers the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It starts at the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And it runs 7 days, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, where you eat unleavened bread.
And what else
they didn't start eating that Passover lamb till the 15th day when it was night. And they ate it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs.
So when they have to do that,
was the meal.
So when they have to do that,
was that not the meal?
That was for that day?
Was that not the meal?
For the 1 day, yes.
No, that wasn't even for the 1 day. That was for that moment of Passover when they ate the lamb.
Yeah.
But they eat the unleavened bread at that same time, but they eat that unleavened bread for a whole week.
You asked me earlier, so this is how you asked me the question. You said, so are you saying that they were just eating bread for 7 days? And I said, yes. And now you're turning around telling me...
I didn't even ask you that.
Yes, you did,
You
brother.
brought that up.
Brother, you asked me
brought that up. Go back and look at your notes.
I know what you said.
No, I didn't. I didn't say they was just
okay. So let's be clear.
You said that.
So let's be clear.
I ain't got no need to say that.
So let's be clear.
Because the deal is that they can eat flesh. They can eat lamb every day if they wanna. But they can't eat no more of that Passover
what did it say,
lamb.
Though?
I'm just saying they can't eat the Passover lamb that they started eating at the 15th day at dark. When on the 14th day they started cooking it at even. When it got dark, that's the 15th day. That's when they started eating it. But they couldn't keep any of that over until the morning.
The morning of
they had to
what date would that
destroy what all that was left.
Okay.
Now on those next days, they have to eat unleavened bread every day for 7 days. It starts when they eating that Passover lamb on the 15th day. That's when it starts eating unleavened bread with that lamb and bitter herbs. Now, whatever part of that lamb is left, they burn with fire. Now, when they go on into the next day, the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st day, they can eat lamb, they can eat beef, they can eat fish, but they got to eat some unleavened bread every day for 7 days. All they have to do is take a bite, and they cannot have anything leavened for 7 days.
Right.
Now that's Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
But where are you reading that at? That just says Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Again, it's not. Again, we know Passover means he passed over the children of Israel.
We know, we've established that.
But it's only 7 days. It says that in Leviticus 23. It's only 7 days. The whole thing is 7 days. Where do you see 8 days? Where do you see this 8th day? Why doesn't it say that? Why does you saying the 14th day it starts on?
No, I said that the Passover starts on that day. I said the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on the 15th day, bro.
So where is the 8th day? If you saying it starts on the 14th day, it'll be 8 days, not 7.
Listen to me. I'm saying that the Passover starts and ends on the 14th day.
So when did he pass over? That was on the 14th day? So you're saying he dropped the firstborn man and beast of Egypt on the 14th day? We're basing it on what he said when it starts. You're saying that he dropped the firstborn man and beast on the 14th day?
Listen to what I'm saying.
That's when he dropped him?
Listen to what I'm saying.
I listen to what you're saying.
I'm saying that the Passover started on the 14th day,
and so that's when he killed the firstborn man.
I'm saying that's when the Passover started.
I said that's when he killed the firstborn man and beast of Egypt. I'm asking you a question.
I'm saying...
Is that when he killed the firstborn man of beast of Egypt on the 14th day?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
He says clearly that it starts on the 14th day.
I said, is that when he killed the firstborn man and beast of Egypt on the 14th day?
It said at the night, on the 4th. It said that he killed them.
What?
He said he killed them on the... It happened in the middle of the night. You the one keep trying to twist it and say, well, the Edomites changed the date.
Where does it say he did it in the middle of the night?
Well, it said that's when they left. The Passover represents when we left in haste. That's why we had to consume the Passover in haste, because it represents not when they were killed. It represents when we left in haste.
Brother, that's it.
Brother, that's when it says.
That's it, bro. Call it a day.
You can't be just changing it up.
Call it a day, bro. I'm through with that.
Brother, you're dead wrong. That's why I keep trying to tell you. You're trying to make the days the same.
I'm wrong then.
Okay, so what's your point in saying that it would start that when they killed the first children of Egypt? I'm trying to see your point. So according to you, when did it start? No, I want to see your point.
You can't see it, David. It's just impossible, and that's okay. Maybe you'll see it in the future. What can I say?
Again, you're just misinterpreting it.
Okay. Whatever you say, guy. You got to live with that. I don't.
When the Bible says clearly 14th day and you're trying to make it the 15th day, you're adding to the word. That's all I'm saying.
I heard you. You've been saying that.
That's what it is.
You've been saying that. Like I said, you stick to that.
You just want to throw in the towel. I'm trying to see your point.
You can call it what you want. I'm through with it, bro. We ain't getting nowhere. We beating a dead horse, and I ain't for that. You can't see it.
Let me in with this. Let me show you why this is so important, and why you want to start keeping the Sabbath in the evening, is because the reason why the Edomites do it that way, Esau got y'all doing it this way because they trying to cut you off. What does Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, say? I'm going to read it for you. Because this is a lesson I want you to get out of this whole thing. And the reason why you can't just be keeping the Sabbath in the evening. They're trying to break that ordinance that he made with us.
I said, you keep doing it the way you're doing it.
Let me just read this to you, brother, and we can wrap it up. Because this is the main point.
It's wrapped up, Father.
I understand that, but brother, just
you go ahead and read whatever it is.
Just hear me out, and I want you to see this. I'm going to read Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, and I'm going to start at the 35th verse. I'm going to read this, and I'm going to read the 33rd chapter of Jeremiah. Thus said YHWH, which giveth the sun for a light by night, a sun for the light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. YHWH of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, said YHWH, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. They're trying to cut us off. That's why you tie that in with Psalms chapter 80, the 83rd Psalm. I'm going to read that, then I'm going to give you Jeremiah 33. That's why they got these Israelites keeping the Sabbath in the evening. Psalms 83rd. Keep not thy silence, O Elohim. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O Elohim. For thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. They have convinced you that the Sabbath starts in the evening. That's crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom. They were the first ones that start coming out with that, keeping the Sabbath in the evening. That's part of...
Where you reading that? I don't see that there in 83rd Psalm.
I'm reading that they were trying to cut us off.
That's what you interpret that as. That's not saying that in the 83rd Psalm.
You don't think the Edomites keep their Sabbath in the evening?
That's not saying that in the 83rd
When does the Edomites
Psalm.
keep their Sabbath?
That is your interpretation.
When does Edom keep his Sabbath? When does the Esau keep his Sabbath? Do you know? When do they start keeping the Sabbath? Just answer that, Yehudah. When does
I'm listening.
I'm asking you, when does Esau keep his Sabbath? And when does he teach these other people to keep the Sabbath? Do they keep it from morning to evening on the 7th day? Or do they keep it at evening on the 6th day?
They keep it when the sun goes down.
On what? Okay.
6th day.
Right. That's when they keep it, right? So that's why I'm showing you.
The sun going down on the 7th.
Okay, so let me show you what they...
Totally incorrect.
Well, watch this. 33rd chapter of Jeremiah. This is what their mission is. And I'm just showing you this because I want you to see what's at stake here. They're trying to break this ordinance of light and day. That's why they got you believing that the day starts in night. And it doesn't. 33rd chapter. See what verse I want to start at. Okay, I'm going to start in the 19th verse. And the word of Yahuwah came unto Jeremiah, saying, Thus said Yahuwah, if ye can break my covenant. Now he's talking to these heathens. This is an open challenge to them. If ye can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, that they should not be day and night in their season, then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon the throne, upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers. Now they can't physically change the ordinances in nature. They can't do that. But what they can do is change the law. What does Daniel 7:25 say? They shall think to change times and laws. They changing the law from morning to evening to the evening. That's what they doing. They trying to break us, and they can get enough of us to keep this Sabbath wrong. Then they trying to cut us off. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Yehudah. That's why these heathens keep their Sabbath in the evening. And they have convinced too many of our Israelites to do the same thing. That's what's at stake here. They're trying to cut us off. They know that they cannot stop the day from coming in its season, so they trying to change times and laws. That's what they doing. That's why I'm so serious about this. If we were supposed to keep it from even to even, they wouldn't be doing it.
They don't do it from even to even.
You just said they start.
I said if you were listening, they do it from sundown to sundown.
Ain't that the evening?
Yeah, you could say that, but
okay.
The Sabbath day is from dark. That's how I interpret it.
It's the sun when the sun go down.
That also mean evening or even.
But Yehudah, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
But they don't keep it in the morning.
That the whole time you're here. It's not. When the sun goes down, you're still in the same day. When it gets dark, then you're in the next day. And they do it from sunset to sunset. Like I said earlier, totally incorrect.
So how
anybody doing it from sunrise to sunrise is totally incorrect. Because that's not what it's saying in that book. Like I keep telling you,
it doesn't go sunrise to sunrise.
You're running over the word even. And in that spot, it means dark. And that's shown when it tells us that the Passover started. Yah dropped the firstborn man and beast of Egypt on the 15th day. That's Passover. You start eating the Passover lamb, the bitter herbs, the unleavened bread on the 15th day.
First of all, could you show me that?
Whatever of the Passover lamb is left, you burn with fire. But you eat that unleavened bread starting on the 15th day for 7 days all the way through the 21st day. Simple as that. It starts all on the 15th day. The only thing they
so
did
why is
on
the 14th day even mentioned?
Is because they started cooking the Passover.
But it doesn't say that, Yehudah.
Because you cannot eat it with the blood.
Numbers chapter 9.
Came out of Egypt.
Numbers 9 does not say that.
They came out of Egypt in haste, and it says that in the 12th chapter of Exodus.
Yehudah.
They came out in haste. That's the whole point. They had to eat it in haste.
You contradicting.
They could not wait till the middle
you're contradicting what the scriptures are saying. You just said...
Right. Come on, man. That's it. Put your stuff on.
Okay. Let me read this one last thing.
Come on, man.
In Numbers 9. In the 14th day of this month at even, ye shall keep it in its appointed season, according to all the rites and according to all the ceremonies thereof, ye shall keep it. And it says, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yahuwah commanded Moses, so did the children of Israel. Okay, well, I just wanted to end with that. And this concludes our discussion. I tried to help you based on whether you hear or you forbear in Ezekiel.
David, listen,
And that's
so we
it.
don't get it twisted. You ain't trying to help me.
I am.
What you're trying to do is substantiate yourself, because this is what you've been doing, and you don't want to be wrong, and I can understand that.
I just want to see the
so
truth.
don't say that you keep saying you're trying to help me.
I am, though. I consider you a friend, Yehuda.
No,
I do, because
we're not friends.
What did
we are acquaintances.
We can be acquaintances, friends,
We're not
whatever.
friends. We're acquaintances.
We're
Let's
friends
just keep it real.
We're-
Okay.
we're under
Stop
the same-
trying to put the twist on it. And we're not under the same, because I follow Yah. You follow that what you call the Most High. And that's why I told you,
the strong one of our
and I'll
fathers.
say it again, you need to go and set up Yahuwah, our righteousness. Then we got that covered.
Okay.
You still ain't done it. It's been what, about 7, 8
You don't know what I'm doing, Yehuda.
Say what?
You don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot. I didn't mention.
Then, well, are you doing it? I asked you that last time, and you told me no.
Yeah, I did
so
tell
are
you.
you doing it?
Yes, I'm doing it.
Okay, good. That's great.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is that we can still have a cordial.
When you get it set up, let me know.
Okay.
So I can be able to tell people we got something else going.
Okay.
You know, or should I say something else is being done?
Yeah.
In case your righteousness is not right, we can see if that Yahuwah our righteousness is right.
Okay. Like I said, that will conclude our discussion, and we'll just leave it at that. And like I said, but I don't want you to assume that I'm not trying to help you, because I am.
I'm not assuming.
What I just read to you in Jeremiah.
Trying to help me. You understand what I'm saying? Do for you.
I'm doing
Get
for
it
me.
for you.
I'm already
Do
doing
that.
it. Okay.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Okay. And this concludes our discussion.